During a protest in late August, Egyptian demonstrator Ahmed al-Shahat scaled the wall of the Israeli embassy in Cairo. Climbing to the top, he tore down the flag of Israel and replaced it with an Egyptian flag. He became an instant Egyptian hero. Dr. Tawfiq Hamid, a senior fellow and chair for the study of Islamic radicalism at the Potomac Institute for Policy Studies in Arlington, Virginia, believes that Egypt's response to the flagman hints at the larger issues between the neighboring countries.
Someone climbed the 22 floors, just imagine it, to remove the Israeli flag with the shouting of people around him. But this is not the end of the problem. The real problem is when you see this person is treated as hero on the Egyptian media. That is the real core of the problem. When you see there is no punishment for this person by the government for doing the crime of attacking a foreign embassy, that is the core of the problem.
Since the fall of former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak's regime in February, the previously stable relationship between Israel and Egypt has been cast into doubt. The peace treaty signed by Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin in 1979, which normalized relations between the two countries, is being criticized in the Egyptian media and in the streets. On September 10th, Egyptian protesters stormed the Israeli embassy in Cairo, forcing the Israeli ambassador and his staff to leave the country. A Pew Research Center poll from April found that 54% of Egyptians believe that Egypt should annul its treaty with Israel. Dr. Eli Carmon, a senior research scholar at the Institute for Counterterrorism at the Interdisciplinary Center in Herzliya, Israel, fears the consequences of canceling the treaty.
This will bring our two countries, but the region as a whole, I think, on the brink of a very difficult situation, a very dangerous situation.
What would canceling the treaty entail? Dr. Hamid doesn't think the people in the Egyptian streets really know the answer. The treaty contains two parts: normalization of the relationship between the two nations, and the peaceful return of the Sinai Peninsula to Egypt, which had been annexed by Israel in 1967. Dr. Hamid says if Egypt cancels the treaty, they will have to return the Sinai and will lose American aid.
The Egyptians can continuously ask for ending the peace treaty and blame the military council and their leaders for trying to keep the treaty because they have not faced the reality. Sometimes you need people to face the reality and the consequences of their decisions.
But Dr. Abdelmonem Said Ali, president of Al-Ahram Center for Political and Strategic Studies in Cairo, thinks the danger to the peace is overstated.
After all, the Egyptian state strong. I mean, it's not. We have the state, and one what distinguished the revolution in Egypt, that the state continued. It did not melt. I mean, you have the army, and with the same person that was there before the revolution. And you have the judiciary, and there is the Egyptian bureaucracy who made peace with Israel in the past and made a lot of agreements with them. So it's not only the street that's governing Egyptian policy.
Dr. Ali admits the peace between the two nations was not particularly warm before the fall of Mubarak, but it was effective.
It was a kind of, uneasy relationship, but still going in a cordial way. Whenever there was a clear and persistent kind of a common interest in any topic, both countries went through it and achieved it.
Because the peace under Mubarak was mostly pragmatic and did not encourage good relations between the Israeli and Egyptian peoples, Dr. Hamid blames the current troubles between Israel and Egypt not on the revolution, but on Mubarak himself.
So I see it's getting worse, there's no doubt about this, but I'm not seeing it as a product of the revolution. I'm seeing it as just unmasking of what Mubarak regime was doing over 30 years, of pretending that he's a friend of Israel, yet promoting or allowing the promotion of the most anti-Semitic views and ideology within the country. So it was a very schizophrenic situation. On one hand, Mubarak pretends that he has good relations with the Israelis, and some of them were happy with this. But at the same time, he was allowing a very lethal form and destructive form of anti-Semitism.
All in all, Dr. Ali believes it is still too early to tell what will happen in Egypt's relationship with Israel.
Any final judgment here will be premature. We got to wait until the elections and how the constitutional group will be formed and the new cabinet, and then we can have a much more educated, understanding of what's happening.
It is clear, however, that Israel's position in the region is becoming increasingly precarious. Dr. Carmon says that peace with Egypt is central to Israeli security.
From the point of view of Israel, Egypt is probably the most important strategic asset. The peace with Egypt, but at the same time, it's the most important strategic threat. It is the biggest Arab country with more than 80 million people, the biggest army, and by the way, the modern army, which was armed by the United States.
Further, Israel's ties to other Arab nations are crumbling. Threats of protest in Jordan led the Israeli embassy there to withdraw most of its staff from the country. Turkey has expelled Israel's ambassador, and, in addition, the Palestinian Authority is increasing pressure for a UN vote to recognize a Palestinian state. From the looks of it, the chaos of the recent Arab revolutions is continuing to reshape the image of the modern Middle East. For War News Radio, I'm Sam Hirshman.